Hey, Bright Futures. It is Dr. Stephanie on our first installment here of our Tuesday Live with Dr. Stephanie. So most of you know me. I'm Dr. Stephanie Spears. I'm the owner of Bright Futures Family Chiropractic here in Blue Ash, for those of you who aren't current patients. And we really developed this idea of doing our Tuesday Live with Dr. Stephanie out of a need that we have noticed from our patients who are seeking strategies to help you and your family live on a day-to-day basis the best you possibly can. And we love seeing our patients on a daily and weekly basis, but real health is formed in the habits that we take on every single day, making conscious choices. And that's what really, we call it, gives us the advantage, or gives us the edge for us and our kids. So we're really excited to launch this series, and we are extremely honored to have everybody watching us. So today's discussion is going to be on spring allergies. Since the theme in our office this month is on spring into health, one of the most common things that I see in the office is kids or parents struggling with seasonal allergies. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that. So bear with me here. I hope everybody can see me okay. This is the first time I've ever done a live on the laptop, so hopefully this is all coming through and my feed is okay. I usually do them on my phone, but I wanted to sit here today. So also, second thing is I have a whole bunch of notes written, and what I'm going to do is get them all typed out into a document that I will attach up to this so you can all print them out later on today. So seasonal allergies are super common, right? How many of us, either us or know somebody who is dealing with allergies, right? It's so common that we tend to think that it's expected or that it's normal. And that's the one thing I want to share with you, is that's not normal. Our bodies, when they're functioning correctly, should not respond with an allergy to things in the environment. And hey, Ashley, should not be responding to things that are just found normally in the environment. So the question then becomes, why is that happening? Why are we responding with the sneezing and the runny nose and the headaches and the post-nasal drip? Why is that happening? What an allergy is an overactive immune system, where the immune system is taking in something, and instead of recognizing it for what it is, which is something that's normal and natural that's found in nature, it's mounting a stress response. And that stress response is what on the outside looks like allergies. Looks like the runny nose, it looks like the runny eyes, the head congestion. Why is that happening then? The next question is, well, the immune system is directly controlled by the nervous system. And for all of you who are patients with us, we talk about it all the time. The key to health and the key to optimum performance and the key to optimum experience of life is having a nervous system that is able to properly adapt to the environment. When there's stress on the nervous system, there's always going to be stress to the immune system, because the nervous system directly controls the immune system. It's a neuroimmune system, if you will. So first, I want to just talk about the very, very keys that allow your body to properly adapt. Number one, it's getting the stress off the nervous system. That's why so many of our patients come in with allergies, and maybe that's not even why they initially came into our office, but they'll tell me, oh my gosh, my allergies weren't as bad this year. I didn't need the Claritin. I didn't need the inhaler. And they didn't even think that they were coming in for that. Why is that? Well, when there's stress on the nervous system, when there's stress on the spine, and that stress on the spine comes from three main areas. Physical stressors, the birth process being the first one that typically starts this chain in motion. Emotional stress, so the stress that we face, whether we're kids or adults. And then dietary stress or toxicity, our toxic load that our body has to deal with. All of those three things contribute to a stress on the nervous system, to stress on the spine. We call that a subluxation. All it is a spine that is stuck, a spine that isn't moving in its proper motion. When the spine doesn't move in its proper motion, it sends an instant signal up to the brain that says alert, stress, and the brain responds by kicking off the fight or flight response. When our brains are in fight or flight, which is a very necessary component to survival, what it does is do everything possible to keep our body surviving. And one of the main things it does is lower the immune response. So, if you or your kids are dealing with chronic allergies, chronic illnesses at all, just a weak immune system, constant runny nose, constant ear infections, seems like every time your kid comes home with something, you get it too, a just low immune system, take it one step further and look back to the nervous system. Why is the body doing that? We're not meant to be responding that way. We're supposed to have a really smart immune system that engages when need be and sends out the troops and deals with whatever is happening in there. But if it's staying chronically activated, we know there's a cause for that. So for us, what helps our patients the most and helps keep us with a very strong immune system that's ready to engage when needed is keeping your brain and body connected, talking to each other, very, very, very efficient without stress on it through our chiropractic adjustments. So that's point number one. Number two, what I want to talk to you guys about, and I have all these notes here written, is our diet. So we're going to kind of switch gears into what you can do at home on a daily basis to help make sure that that you are keeping your bodies free of inflammation. So aside from having a very strong and functioning nervous system, which then has a very strong and functioning immune system, we need to watch the inflammatory process in the body. One of the biggest things that creates inflammation are the foods that we eat. So foods to avoid, this is true for any of us, but especially if you are struggling with allergies, seasonal allergies, constant mucus production, runny noses, things like that, we want to adopt an anti-inflammatory diet. And I have a list of some specific foods that are really, really good to help with the immune response. Garlic is very, very potent antiviral, antibacterial. It's very efficient and effective to help our immune systems. Lemons also have a lot of vitamin C. They're very cleansing to the body. Green leafy vegetables, tons of greens. So sometimes people tell me, oh, yeah, I eat salads, but it's if you're eating like the head lettuce, iceberg lettuce, there's not a whole lot of nutrients in there. So aim for your dark green leafy vegetables, your kale, your spinach, your spring mix, your mixed greens. Bone broth is something that's super duper nutritious. So you guys have probably seen it out in the stores. They now have even bone broth protein and powdered forms to get the bone broth. But there's many recipes you can get online to make your own bone broth. There's a ton of nutrients in them. Pastured chicken and grass-fed beef. So if you're going to eat meat, aim for pastured chicken and aim for grass-fed beef. They both are very high in nutrients and don't have all of the antibiotics and the hormones that are given to conventionally raised meats. And healthy fats are super duper important. Things like avocados, walnuts, almonds, wild salmon, sardines, flax seeds, chia seeds. These are all really critical sources of omega-3 fatty acids that we need for proper brain development, proper brain function, and they are very anti-inflammatory as well. So those are some things to make sure to include in your diet. The other thing that's huge, and I see my patients who struggle with allergies, asthma, ear infections, the chronic mucus-producing chronic runny nose, is going completely dairy-free. So it can be challenging for some to just start that process. It can feel really overwhelming, and it can feel kind of daunting in a sense to start to get rid of some of the dairy, but I can almost guarantee you will have such better energy, clarity, your immune system is going to work so much better. Dairy is a big mucus producer. It also creates a lot of inflammation. So some of us can handle it well, but for many people, our bodies aren't really designed to deal with as much dairy as most of us, especially kids and especially toddlers, eat and drink. So the more you can reduce dairy and eliminate it altogether, if you really struggle with allergies, huge win for you. Also decreasing sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. Those are three big ones that dampen the immune response. Okay, I have three other things to add into your diet. So number one, if you are struggling with allergies, once the pollen starts, once the the sun and the weather actually changes and we actually feel like we're in spring, 3 times a day you can drink an apple cider vinegar cocktail. So you guys have heard us talk about this a whole bunch before, but this is your recipe for it. You can do it with warm water or cold water. Usually I do it with cold water, but just the last few days I've been making this drink with warm water, and I love it. It actually really, it makes it, in my opinion, taste really good. Apple cider vinegar is such a huge boost to the immune system. It's also really helpful for heartburn, digestion, and cleansing the lymphatic system. So our lymphatic system is our waste deposit system in our body. When our body goes through normal metabolic processes of living and moving and digesting food, those toxins can build up in the lymphatic system. So apple cider vinegar is a huge thing that we can drink to help flush the lymphatic system to keep the toxins from building up. So here's your recipe. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This is in water. Okay, I don't measure it out. I know you probably can. I just pour some apple cider vinegar in there. Squeeze some fresh lemon in it. Local raw honey is awesome for allergies. It needs to be local because that's where the pollen is specific to this area. So you can get that. Even Kroger has local raw honey, and it needs to be raw, not pasteurized, because when honey is pasteurized, it kills all the good properties in it. Local raw honey, if you can do a little cayenne pepper, that will also really help to clear the sinuses and clear that congestion, and then some cinnamon. So it's apple cider vinegar, lemon, raw honey, cayenne pepper, and cinnamon. I think it tastes amazing. If you do that every single morning, that's a great way to get your digestive system starting. If you have trouble with constipation, so do this first thing in the morning and then again right before bed. And over time, I think you'll notice a really big improvement there. So that's number one. Again, adding local raw honey and also local bee pollen is something that many of my patients have found helpful to help their allergy symptoms. And then the last thing is actually using essential oils. If you're struggling, especially if your kids are struggling with breathing and with coughing, the essential oils of eucalyptus and frankincense have been noted to be very helpful with that. You can diffuse them in your house. You can put them in a carrier oil. We usually use liquid coconut oil and rub them on your chest, rub them on the kid's back, put them on the bottoms of their feet at night with socks on, kind of like a Vicks Vapor Rub. But those are some really great tips and strategies to help you combat symptoms as they come, and to make sure that you are strengthening your body and functioning the best as possible. So just to reiterate, a really strong, balanced nervous system. Keep that nice and strong through your adjustments. Really watching the diet, cleaning up the toxic load that the body has to deal with so that it can engage that immune system when necessary. And then watch the emotional stress as well. So really helping to engage mindfulness techniques, relaxation techniques is another very positive benefit. So with that being said, that is a wrap on our first Facebook Live with Dr. Stephanie. I will type this up and get this posted onto our Facebook. I'll put it in the comments here before the end of the day today. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. Share this with anybody who is struggling with allergies that you know may need some tips or need some help. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday at 1:30. Shine bright, everybody.